Hey, welcome back, and hello everybody. This is Dan Roberts from the Vegas Voice. And what I have done for these People and Places segment is tell Miss Sue Semenka, let me do this one because I have a very special guest and somebody who has been involved in, I'm sure, everybody's life over the last 30 years. I know he's been involved with mine, only I didn't know it, and that's Gino. Gino, pronounce your last name because I can't.
Guarna.
Yes, I'll call you
Guarna.
Gino has had a tremendous career at NBC, and I'm going to turn it over to him and tell me, when did you start, how did you start, and what did you do? Because I was just blown away when you first told me.
The original start was in June of 1966 as a vacation relief.
Yeah.
A lot of things were being done in New York in those days. Everything was being done in New York. And there were a lot of people, and that was vacation time. So they had to fill the people that were going on vacation. I got married that year, but I was released in October, in mid-October 66. I returned to NBC the following year, and I've been there ever since.
Ever since. And what did you do at NBC?
I had a varied career.
Mm-hmm.
I started in live operations, and little by little I learned the business. I covered sports mostly, and then I went to radio for a couple of years. In my career, I went to news for 10 years, and that was the happiest time for me.
But, I mean, you did sound and you did camera, right? You
Yes.
covered both?
Yes.
What did you enjoy more, doing the sound or doing the camera work?
Really doing the camera.
You did, yeah?
Because, especially in news, a news cameraman is his own director, his own producer. He has to think. He has to build the story, obviously with the cooperation of a reporter. And that was the best time for me.
You know, one of the things, Gino, and I'm hitting you with something new, when you had that camera and you were walking around, you could really do anything you want, couldn't you? People would get out of your way. Would they give you a hard time, or would they clear just to be on the camera?
There were times when the reporter was busy doing his stuff that I moved around trying to cover other areas that you'd get somebody would be a bit kind of a mean person, but mostly because they just wanted to be mean for that time.
Right.
And I didn't pay much attention. There were times when people were serious, and I stopped doing. And I told the reporter, I'm being harassed. You take over now. You know, that kind of thing.
And, you know, again, one of the things that, again, cameraman and my buddy Bill and I saw when we went to your house is that you have 2 Emmys.
Yes.
I mean, honest to God, they're not fake. They're real, right?
Yep.
You didn't steal them
Nope.
or anything. What did you get the 2 Emmys for?
The National Emmy was a crew Emmy. Up until that year, I think it was the 1986 World Series, it was the most perfect, technically speaking, event on television. So everybody got an Emmy for that. The other one was a local Emmy. I did camera for that. And the story was, we were covering the story of black young men going in the military, specifically the Marines. And another cameraman did Paris Island, and I did Harlem.
You know, when you did the news, and you mentioned that you also did sports. You did the World Series. You did
Yes.
the '86 World Series.
Yes.
Was that sound or camera?
Sound. I was on the sound crew.
You were the sound crew. I don't know how much of that you remember, but from watching it, I remember where I was. '86 World Series. It was the Mets versus Boston.
Yeah.
I remember that game. I remember the crowd cheering. Things that I and anybody from New York will remember for the rest of their lives. And you were involved with it, and it was no big deal to you.
No, because you're too busy doing your work. You cannot be sidetracked by what's happening around you. You might miss something. Therefore, you have to concentrate on your job.
And how about this? You also said you did football games. You did
Yes.
Super Bowls.
Yes.
You mentioned that you did the AFC game in Cincinnati, because I had to look it up. And that was back in 1982. That was the Chargers at Cincinnati, at the Bengals. And it was a little bit cold there, wasn't it?
I don't know if it still is, but for the longest time, it was the coldest game ever played in the NFL.
It is the coldest game with wind chill factor. And it was minus 37 degrees. And you were there, right?
Yes.
Were you outside or inside?
Outside.
You were doing sound or camera? Or?
I was doing the sound camera on the side. Not the camera, the sound on the side, right.
Was it cold?
I tell you, I always took care of myself in the sense that it's cold.
Yeah.
So I always traveled heavy when I traveled. So I had the clothes with me. I knew it was going to be cold. I just didn't know that it was going to be that cold. But thank God I was protected.
But how do you prepare yourself for that cold? Or do you care? You just want the game to get over with and let's get inside?
If you don't pay attention, you don't prepare. So in order for you to prepare, you have to pay attention. Meaning, you listen to the news, you know it's going to be cold, you bring enough clothes to take care of yourself.
We're going to have a part 2 if you don't mind, Gino.
Of
you
course.
Can stick around. And we're going to come back again. And this is Dan Roberts for People and Places. And we'll see you again next time.